Hey, guess what? I'm just checking y'all. I actually got the mic on this time. This is John, All Things Paranormal. I'm gonna be over here, I'm gonna be over here stuck up here by myself. One of the members is usually with me, by the name of Don Johnson. He seems to have the type A or something that is just kind of keeping him down for a while. He's, from what I understand, he actually has no butt cheeks left from the injections on both sides. So, anyway, if y'all just, happen to think that, just kind of keep him in your thoughts and wishes and everything, because he's been suffering pretty hard. Anyway, today I am going to a scary movie convention, not this weekend, but next weekend over in Dallas, called Texas Frightmare. And they have all different types of scary movies, from Friday the 13th, the actors and stuff like that there, to Halloween, to all different kinds of things. And it's one of the meccas that I try to go to every year. I missed it last year because I was on a cruise, and I really hated it, but because it's such a cool convention. If y'all happen to have a chance to go to it, go to Texas Frightmare, and even if it's just for a day. They have, I think the last time I was there, the count was like a visiting of like 30,000 people that goes through there. So it's almost like Comic-Con, but for scary people. So today, the show's actually going to be over haunted movies. Alright, so when I classify a haunted movie, I'm going to say it's something to do with something of the paranormal seems to be happening to that movie. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Everything sounding all right, everybody? Somebody give me a thumbs up real quick. But let's go to our first movie. Let's go to pictures. And our first picture is, guess what movie that is? That's Three Men and a Baby. If you take a look in the back, you see where I got circled around? On the left-hand corner is some type of a boy. Now, with that circled around that boy, and there's supposed to be some legend and lore to that. It said it's supposed to be where it filmed. The boy is supposed to die in that house, and all different types of things. Now, it's been back in 2017. I don't remember who the interviewer was, but the interviewee was Tom Selleck, and he says, "Oh no, that was just a poster." Well, that movie is pretty daggum old, 20 years old, 18 years, 15 years old, something like that. And all of a sudden they just decide that, hey, it was just a poster. Maybe, maybe not. If somebody's happened to seen that, just kind of give a little shout out, say, hey, look, that was a pretty weird looking little thing. And they said that it's supposed to be Ted Danson. Let's take a look at that again. Now, I don't know if y'all know what Ted Danson looks like, but that sure don't look like no Ted Danson. A cut out cardboard figure of Ted Danson. But that sure does not look like Ted Danson. So, let me take a little drink. I'm gonna be running through this kind of fast because, without the I guess you could call the humor section of it, things might be running pretty quick. Well, Charlie says it don't look like no poster to him. All right, so let's go to our next movie. Does everybody know what that one is? Don said on that picture it's supposed to be Ted Danson, that there ain't no facial features to it too. All right, does everybody know what that one is? Now that one right there has got to be one of the most known scary movies of the 20th century. That is Poltergeist. Now, you say, well, what kind of haunted stuff happens there for Poltergeist? It's supposed to be about a haunted, about the poltergeist coming in, and it was buried on top of the grave site, and all they did was just move the stones, and you got Poltergeist really upset and tearing heck out of everything in that house. Well, in all the Poltergeist movies, there's a bunch of them, like four, I think four of them. After each movie, some type of actor died. You know, we have four actors passed within a six-year period. You have a Dominique Dunn that was killed by an ex-boyfriend. Julian Beck, he happened to die of cancer, which was just happened to be diagnosed just prior to the making of that movie. He died in 85. Then you have a Will Sampson. Everybody remember him? He's an Indian guy. I think it was the second one, and second or third one. And he ended up dying from some type of complication through a kidney failure. They're just a sudden onset type thing. And then Heather O'Rourke, that's a little girl, you know, that gets up there, it's holding the hands up there. Let's show that picture again. You see her right there? So she actually, you know, I heard tell that she had died from a drug overdose and stuff like that. Well, according to the research, she was actually misdiagnosed as Crohn's disease, but it turned out that she had a restricted bowel. It ended up just taking her right out. I mean, so it ended up killing her. So with the Poltergeist movie, you've had a number after each movie, somebody has died that has something to do with it. All right, let's go to our next movie here. Now this one's got a lot of history to it, just from the specific fact of the movies itself, because it's not just one, this is a group of movies. And we've spread a little insight on this. Let's see. All right, you see Blood of the Mummy's Tomb? Well, they have a ton of these movies back in the 70s, all the way from really back through the 20s. Let's go back. From the different kinds of King Tut movies. Any type of movie that seemed to have to do with King Tut, somebody, not every one of them, but the majority of them, something bad or somebody has up and died. You know, we have, and it all started from the book. You know how that started, from the book, huh? Bram Stoker wrote this book back in, a long time ago, and it's called Jewel of the Seven Seas. So if you really want to know about the how you had the Bram Stoker did about the vampires, and you had Count Dracula. Well, if you want about the Tutankhamun, well, he just kind of ad-libbed it for Jewel of the Seven Seas. Well, evidently, though, Tutankhamun was pretty upset about it, and he's taken out a bunch of people. Within the movie that we're looking at is The Mummy's Tomb, the one I showed up there. Within 5 weeks of the production, starting of that movie, the director, Seth Holt, died. He just, within 5 weeks. And then it turned out, within that 5 weeks, all of a sudden, Peter Cushing, everybody knows who he is. He's played everything from a vampire to a vampire hunter, and really a well-rounded person as far as actors. His wife up and died. Charlie said it sounds like a curse. But just about any one of the movies, just about any one of those movies, I hope I didn't mess up. I don't know why. That has to do with King Tut, somebody just bit the dust. And some people say it's King Tut don't like nobody discussing his stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump on over to our next movie. Oh, that's not it. How about that one? Rosemary's Baby. Everybody remember that one? Some people, I see a bunch of younger people here. They might not remember Rosemary's Baby, but it was done a long time ago, and this is back there in the 60s, late 60s. And let's get back on up here to camera. So during the filming of Rosemary's Baby starts out is about a pregnant woman that ends up with that's kind of fallen into trouble, or sometimes things with a satanic cult, and it may even be something to do with the cursed baby. And so anyway, she had, whatever they were doing that show, Roman Polanski's wife, everybody knows who she was, Sharon Tate. She was ended up murdered, and everybody knows by who, Manson. And then shortly, she was 8 months pregnant. Ain't that kind of a coincidence when you have Rosemary's Baby, and then the director's wife is pregnant, and she ends up dying. You also have a composer of Christoph Komeda, and he just up and fell. He was walking, just fell and died, just bam. So right off the bat, so certain movies has some type of stipulations of being some type of cursed, things that you just, all of a sudden it's just a cursed movie. And whenever you have these cursed movies, you have some actors that decide to say, hey, that's it, write me out, I'm leaving, I'm not going to be part of this. And you even got some people that working in the backgrounds, the sound people and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, that's it. Take me out. I'm not going to end up in a cursed movie. End up being taken out by whatever it happens to be. Some things are just bad karma. I tell you what, let me go ahead and just skip on over here real quick and throw this out here because I know Don's going to want to see this.
Hey, this is Don, All Things Paranormal. Hey, check out our e-store at allthingsparanormaltx.com. We got shirts, hats, and cups. Give us a holler if you want one. All Things Paranormal.
And we liked it so good, we're going to play it again.
Hey, this is Don, All Things Paranormal. Hey, check out our e-store at allthingsparanormaltx.com. We got shirts, hats, and cups. Give us a holler if you want one. All Things Paranormal. Hey, this is Don, All Things Paranormal. Hey, check.
All right, now we're back. Let's go to our last movie here. Let's throw this out. And now this one right here, when I was doing the research for some of this stuff, it kind of caught me off guard as to, hey, this movie is cursed. This movie's got some bad stuff going on. Let's take a look here. Guess what this one is? Uh-oh. The Wizard of Oz. Now, that movie has had all different kinds of stuff. The first thing that popped up to me was that in filming it, they had an actual ghost that showed up. Now, I could not find this picture. I spent an hour and a half trying to find this one picture where they said they had a munchkin that was hung on the backdrop that was supposed to be a ghost. And so I was looking, trying to find it because, it was like a big tale about it, about having a munchkin in the background that had died. But it wasn't an actual ghost-like figure of the thing that had died. So, anyway, this movie had a bunch of really bad, or, we can even just call this stuff bad karma. Well, it's some sort of something bad. Anyway, Judy Garland, before the age of 47, after that movie, she went through a number of bad things that's happened to her. It never did turn out real well for her. She ended up with 4 divorces, financial troubles, and ended up dying pretty early from some type of addiction. And so she was just struggling the whole time since the movie. Then you had Annie M. Everybody remember if they've seen it, Annie M. Her name was Claire Blandick. And she ended up killing herself just shortly after the movie. And it just, it just things just keep piling up. Uncle Henry, which is Charlie Grapevine, he ended up passing away just shortly after also. Both died in 1956 before the movie had debuted. So they had actually done the film, and before it hit the big screen, people was over here dying. People had died. So, and then you had the Wicked Witch of the West. Looked like Margaret Hamilton. She was badly burned during the making of it. You remember in the scene where they have all of a sudden the witch just all of a sudden just boom, just all of a sudden just gets caught on fire and stuff like that. Well, she gets burned up pretty good. So they said, all right, we didn't do it so good on that one. You know, she's injured. Let's get a stand-in. So, bring in a stand-in, and I mean, daggone, they must have not changed anything, because she ended up getting burnt too. Both of them had severe burns. So, anyway, they have a ton of other different things on the internet with different movies and stuff like that. The Wizard of Oz was really the one that kind of stood out, and that was the first one I looked at. Well, actually, the second one I looked at. 3 Minute of Baby was the first one, because I remember that one popping up, and then the King Tut's curse from back whenever I was a kid, and my dad sitting around talking about that. And then I'd have to say the Wizard of Oz is probably the strangest ones. But anyway, if y'all have, we still have our casting call out. So if you're a demon, a werewolf, or if you have any type of, you know, anything that you want to say about the paranormal experience or whatever, hey, we got a seat. I even bought an extra seat just in case you want to bring somebody with you. But we're always here, always live. We're working on different things coming up, so we hope y'all stick with it. And we appreciate everybody showing up watching. Jennifer, thank you. Charlie, Bud, well, actually Charles, older brother, we call him Bud, but his name's Charles. And Don, I know you're sick, appreciate you looking. But anyway, Junior, thank you. Who else we got there? We got Chris, thank you for watching. If y'all got anything to add, just throw it on there. And this stuff should be posted now on it, so just kind of like it and pass it on to everybody. Anyway, this is John, All Things Paranormal.